Friends, as is the tradition, in early autumn we mark Moscow City Day. I warmly congratulate Muscovites on this occasion, and not only Muscovites, but all those who sincerely love our capital and see it as one of the greatest cities in the world. I fully share this view. It is indeed so. For millions of people, Moscow embodies the destiny and historic mission of Russia as a civilizational power, a city with a glorious past and great spiritual, cultural, military, and labor traditions. Today, it stands at the forefront of Russia's steady and confident progress, strengthening our sovereign and powerful nation. The capital ranks second in the world among the largest urban economies, confidently charting a course for the future and laying a solid foundation for our success for years and decades to come. I recall well when Mr. Sobyanin proposed that Moscow should help revive Russia's space industry. This was only a few years ago. Today, thanks to the efforts of the capital's architects and builders, together with the Roscosmos State Corporation, the National Space Center has been established in Moscow. In a short while, Mr. Sobyanin and I will go and see it. This is truly a command center for Russian space exploration, a fully integrated engineering and technical complex bringing together science, education, and production. Without doubt, it also strengthens Moscow's role as a key national hub for accelerated technological, industrial, and scientific development. The key task today is to fully tap the potential of the new space center and the capital's entire infrastructure to support the bold and ambitious projects of the young generation of researchers and engineers, and to join forces with companies, universities, and enterprises, not only in Moscow, but also across the regions. In short, we must do everything to ensure that Russia remains among the leaders in space exploration and research, as well as in developing solutions for the emerging industries of the 21st century. It is also important that innovations are being tested under real-life conditions in the capital, paving the way for the rapid application of cutting-edge products in the city's services, in transport, education, and healthcare. We are all well aware of a long-standing problem. Something is invented here, discussed, described, and then we wait decades for it to be implemented, only to see it appear first abroad. We all learned this from school. Moscow is thankfully different. Here, new technologies are introduced quickly, and this cannot but please us. Thank you, Mr. Sobyanin. A clear example is the use of digital and medical technologies in the recently completed reconstruction of 343 children's and adult polyclinics across the city, and in the modernization of dozens of hospital buildings, including the newly opened complex of the Children's Hospital of St. Vladimir. Another important focus is the development of a fully fledged unmanned systems economy in Moscow. Autonomous solutions are being actively tested in taxis, logistics, everyday services, water safety control, construction sites, firefighting, and street cleaning, all running on domestic software. Over the past 6 years, the capital's IT sector has more than quadrupled. Just think about it. In 6 years, a four-fold increase, or around 80–85% growth annually. An excellent result indeed. Moscow is now moving from experimentation to the large-scale use of autonomous transport. Just a few days ago, after 2 years of testing, The first driverless trams in Russia began regular service. The next step will be the automation of the metro. Importantly, along with technical upgrades, new metro lines and stations are being built. Another 4 stations have opened today on the Troitskaya line. The construction of the Rublevo-Arkhangelskaya and Biryulevskaya lines is ongoing, which will radically improve public transport accessibility for 2 million residents of Moscow and the Moscow region. I know that colleagues from other regions will hear me and say, of course, he has more money than the rest of Russia. There is always a lack of money everywhere. No matter how much we may have, our economy is large, and we are always short of funds. The issue is selecting the right priorities. Moscow's current mayor's team has managed to identify the main priorities, focus on them, and thus achieve results. The foundation for Moscow's steady progress is laid as early as in school. It is therefore predictable that creating conditions for the harmonious and comprehensive development of children and preserving their health is a special focus for the Moscow government. This year, a large-scale renovation of school buildings has been launched. Modern gyms and open spaces, laboratories and IT classrooms will be created as part of the program. We are talking about the creation of a completely new, modern educational environment for Moscow's school children and teachers. To raise the quality of teaching mathematics and passing on knowledge about the world around us, new courses have been introduced in Moscow schools starting in September. They will help children as early as in primary school to learn to research and experiment, develop logical thinking, and solve unconventional problems. Moscow is indeed pursuing serious and meaningful projects in education as well as in culture and the arts. These projects are to become a source of advanced experience for the entire nation, serving the tasks of education and upbringing, enhancing a sovereign world outlook and fostering our traditions and values. A world-class cinema cluster is steadily being formed, designed to accelerate the development of the entire domestic film industry. Moschino Film Park facilities are being constructed and launched, and soon the historic Gorky Film Studios will complete its revival. Exhibitions, lectures, concerts, festivals, and sports events are becoming an integral part of everyday life for all generations of Muscovites. Together with businesses and creative industries, Moscow is shaping a unique atmosphere and identity in the city, a place where people want to live, study, work, run businesses, feel proud of the past, and move forward together with the rest of Russia. Friends, Moscow residents and our entire multi-ethnic nation have a cultural and moral code, along with a sense of high responsibility for the country's destiny and a readiness to come to the rescue and lend a hand. This is evident in extensive charity, philanthropy, and the volunteer movement, and, of course, in the support for our armed forces. Tens of thousands of Moscow residents are valiantly fighting on the front line. Just as it was in the past, Moscow has become a reliable home front for the Russian army. Over 500 Moscow enterprises manufacture critical products for the front. Wounded servicemen undergo treatment and rehabilitation in Moscow's clinics. Hundreds of Moscow specialists, doctors, special services personnel, builders and managers provide assistance to residents of Donbas and Novorossiya on a daily basis. I would like to thank Moscow residents for their contribution to our just and sacred struggle, for their readiness to fight and work for the benefit of the fatherland. It is the will and energy of the people that enable Moscow to stand on a par with the world's largest cities, create 21st century technologies, transform the city, its streets and districts, and successfully address social issues. I believe that Moscow has every opportunity to achieve new quality levels and ensure confident, steady, and long-term progress. I'm confident that it will be this way. I sincerely wish the capital city's residents great achievements, victories, good health, and optimism. And I wish Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin and his creative and dedicated team success in setting new tasks and achieving even more ambitious goals for the benefit of Moscow and our great homeland. Happy holiday, dear Muscovites! Happy City Day! Thank you.